you know us fairly well. Knowing we just had a couple of minutes, I picked 3 points just to mention here this morning and encourage more exchange later on in the day. And that's really the grant program, which has come up a number of times. As everyone is aware, in the most recent round of the legislature, we were appropriated an additional $35 million, which effectively over doubled our portfolio of broadband investments across the state. Our team is here in the room today, although when we're not here, we are very busy, heads down, working hard to be able to get that funding out the door by the end of the year. But on that note, that's why we're here today, is to be resources to you all on the grant program and the other work of the office. So I just want to take a moment to point out who's here. You'll hear from Jane Leonard here in a moment. Diane Wells is in the back of the room. Diane, can you raise your hand? And David Tao is here at the front desk, and he'll be at the table throughout the day as well. I encourage you to reach out to us and give us your feedback. And as far as the grant program, I think that the project owners themselves are going to speak the best to the progress that's being made by these projects. So I'll let them speak on their own behalf here as we go into the learning stations here in a moment. The second piece that doesn't get listed in our concrete list of legislative issues that we work on is the engagement piece, and I think that's so critical to the work that we do, and often goes not quite well understood. I added it up, and we talk to thousands of people every year. We accept every invitation we are asked to, if at all possible. We talk to county commissioners, EDA boards, township supervisors, legislators, local planners, school superintendents, electric co-op board members, anyone who will listen to us about the importance of work on broadband infrastructure to their communities and how they can play a role in making it happen. I stress that because I am seeing that being one of the most effective roles we have is engaging more folks for you all at the local level and helping to solve these problems, whether it be with financial resources or human resources and interest and engagement. The third piece that I just wanted to mention is that right now, this time of year, we are very busy on preparing for that next round of policy making. And it's our opportunity to put our input and feedback into the process as the governor's office, our agency, and legislators prepare to go into next session in January. That sounds like it's a ways off. It's a blink in our timeline, and those proposals are already being heavily drafted at this stage. So I wanted you to be aware that is happening, because one of the things we'd like to hear from you is your input on those issues. Obviously, the grant program, both the continued support of that grant program, as well as any tweaks to how it is constructed, are important pieces that we want to carry forward. The second piece is a leg of the work that Landon has been more engaged in, but it's a piece that's been given as a charge from a statewide perspective, and that is the digital equity and inclusion piece. We're starting to, we've been looking at it over the first couple of years the office has been in place. There are not a lot of good examples about how states can be effective at contributing to the digital equity and inclusion gap. And so we are in the midst of putting together some recommendations and are very interested to hear from those at the local level on what should be considered in those discussions. So we invite you to give us feedback on that one. And then the third piece that around policymaking is Senator Klobuchar mentioned it, because that's a great starting point for our dig once, rights of way management, permitting, local planning. Again, the mayor mentioned her comprehensive plan. That's another piece where we can help work on the sustainability of what we're working on, is make sure that that state and local plans dovetail with what's happening federally, and just doing a review and making sure that we're doing all we can to remove barriers and help increase the attractiveness of additional broadband investment in our communities. So that's another area we're working on articulating recommendations for state level policies, and want to hear from the local level, because we know there are a lot of touch points that deal with issues that localities care about a lot. And so we invite your feedback there. With that, I'm going to turn it over